The year 2000, Alice Cooper, Brutal Planet. I freaking love this album. But it's a 6 year gap between The Last Temptation and Brutal Planet. You see that again with Welcome to My Nightmare sequel and Paranormal. But in any case, great time to come in. That was that 2000 to 2001 era where it's all like the industrial metal and these various stories and concepts. It's actually interesting. Me when it comes to metal, I'm gonna get fucking crucified for this, right? But 80s metal, like Metallica, Iron Maiden, I don't really care for that stuff. That's just me. But when it comes to something like this, like an industrial metal, this I really enjoy. My meat and potatoes is like hard rock, but of course, I like a bunch of other genres too. But when it comes to metal, if it's mixed like a post genre, like the new Poppy album, that I really enjoy. But something like this, and like of course it's a successor, that I really do enjoy as well. But Alice Cooper, Brutal Planet, the cover is great. I really enjoy it. Backside, I enjoy that as well. It's pretty cool looking. All depressed and out on hope, and I don't know. The background kind of looks like a little Freddy Krueger nightmare settings, right? But 11 tracks and all around, I think this is a very very strong album. Well, one thing I will say though, the one problem, and that's not in terms of musically, but between this album and this one right here is it's the record label itself. Now, like Spitfire, I believe it transitions into Eagle Rock, cause then that's the next after this one, which will be The Eyes of Alice Cooper. I mean, Brutal Planet gets like what 175 in the top 200. And then I don't even think this dense. I think this is like Dada territory. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like this is cash money right here, and it gets bottom feeder polls or rankings on the top 200 charts. That's what I really enjoy about his new album label, Ear Music. I think they do a good job, promoting the album. Had like videos and snippets. They did a great job with Paranormal. But yeah, I don't really understand what they were going with besides just, oh, Alice Cooper fans would know when an album comes out, so they buy it there. I don't think that's really how you should go with it. But I don't know. That's all. That's what I wanted to say. And inside, you get this little pamphlet of like things to buy. That's the backside. So there's got like a little Alice Cooper figure. For $10. Sorry, that's a little blurry. $10. You imagine that these days? I don't mean, probably $50, right? And then inside's various other items. It's the same thing with the Dragon Town too. And there it is back there. That would be pretty cool to have this right here as like various backstage passes and whatnot. So that would be pretty cool. And inside right there, I don't know what this is. I've seen it on other CDs I have. I don't really know what it is. But obviously back there you can see kind of like a zombified version of Alice. And there he is, like completely wasted. And then like inside, you get various things. Of course, like the lyrics as well. Which are pretty cool. You got some pictures right there. There's another one too, where he's just like looking out. He's like on this balcony and the moon's there, or the earth is there, I believe, yeah. And everything's all lightning and whatnot, so cool stuff. Yeah. We're spinning around on this ball of hate with him on, what would that be, you guys? It's the left side. But yeah, great stuff all around. So like I said, Brutal Planet, 11 tracks, and let's get started. Alright, so you open the album up with the title track itself, Brutal Planet. And I remember listening to this album last year. Scout's Honor, I got into Alice Cooper last year, so as much as I know about Alice Cooper as like some 30 or 40 year fan or whatnot in terms of experience, truthfully I've only really been listening to him for a year now, but I've absorbed so much information, of course the songs and whatnot. I was on the treadmill and I was on my phone, and it's just like, okay, let me just type in on YouTube Alice Cooper albums, and Brutal Planet popped up. I'm like, okay, this looks interesting, and well, I press play, and then my God, you just get the burn dun 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 burn dun dun. I'm like, oh shit, this ain't your dad's album, right? But yeah, just this fucking grab you by the balls, we're going to drag you down to hell type of attitude towards this with the intro, just everything's banging. Eric Singer, fucking phenomenal on the drums. Obviously, he plays in Kiss now, or has been for like what 20 years now. But the intro, yeah, just that very very powerful. And then of course it gets into that riff, the it's just great stuff. And then Alice comes in and he's like got this like pissed off like warlord attitude and talking about how spinning around on this ball of hate. There's no hope about it and stuff like that. We're spinning here until the end of days. And great stuff about this track is this balance between Alice and these female singers or singer, because he enters these transition periods between he's like why don't you come down to, and then the female vocals come in singing about how this world's such perfection. And then there's a sort of distorted background piece, which is like for my eyes. A world, beautiful. From up here, it looks so nice. And then Alice Cooper's just thinking about like all the fucked up things that's happening in this world. He does pretty great stanza to pretty much like, I guess like the creationist view, like day one of Earth, where he's saying about been deceived by this deceiving snake. He said, "Don't worry, it's a piece of cake." Sent it swimming in a burning lake. And, we've been abandoned here for heaven's sake. Which is why I talked about in the last album. He likes to emphasize the k sound in certain words. And this really just emphasizes it more. And really gives it some meaning and whatnot, which is awesome. There's also, obviously, a bunch of other stuff, too, where he's singing about, here's our famous wall of shame. Here's where we beat the children, starve the poor, where we pay the whores. And then, he does like a little more Christian stuff, like, right here we fed the lions Christian flesh and Christian blood. Down here is where we hung him upon an ugly cross. And then over here we stuffed the ovens, right here the Holocaust. Just like fucking just brutal stuff, Brutal Planet. So just a lot of just, shit things that had gone on in the world and like continues to, and just like all around. I've heard like some criticism of this album, and by criticism I mean like fucking articles that don't know what they're talking about when it comes to this stuff. To which sometimes they rank it like, I don't know, 25th or crap, and they're like, industrial Christian music doesn't really cut it. That's not the album entirely. Like, sure, the 7 Deadly Sins, you can definitely get on that, but give me a fucking break. Who doesn't sing stuff like that when it comes to this genre? And this stuff works. Like the Christian themes, I'm not really religious, but I don't give a fuck as long as it works, right? But at the end of the day, Brutal Planet, just grabs you by the balls and drags you down into what this album is basically. And then the next track will be Wicked Young Man, which is a great sort of slap in the face to like politicians and like televangelists during the 90s and like 2000s, where it's like, oh gee, little Timmy watched Natural Born Killers, that's why he shot up insert school. Because this song right here is like, hey, I'm just a fucked up kid ready to shoot up this school. And there's the stanza, of course, where it's not the games that I play, the music I dig, the movies I see. I'm just a wicked young man. Fuck yeah, Alice. There you go. Fuck anyone that's like trying to claim that shit causes things right. But Wicked Young Man. Yeah, it just opens up again with a hard intro, and then, he comes in with this sort of cold, snarl tone to him, talking about how he's got a cold blue swastika, carved in my skin. And then, he's got like ice running through his veins. He can punch through the wall, kick like a mule, and he's too violent for the Brotherhood to ever let him in. And then just of course, the fucking guitars and the drums kick in, and then he goes through the stanzas about how like it's not this, it's not that. I'm just a vicious young man. I'm just a wicked young man. And then there's a great part too, to where the bass drops, like boom 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 boom, boom. And then he comes in kind of quiet like, and he's singing about how he's got every kind of chemical pumping through my head. I read Mein Kampf daily just to keep my hatred fed. Great stuff. That stanza though, it's a little interesting because after that he sings, I never ever sleep, I just lay in my bed, dreaming of the day when everyone is dead. Again, powerful stuff, but it's kind of like, well, you don't sleep, but you're dreaming. I don't know, that was kind of interesting part. But then of course, he comes back in with the stanza, and just like at the end of the day, then he sings towards the end, he's like, I got a pocket full of bullets and a blueprint of the school. The devil's little soldier, I'm the devil's little tool. So he's just a piece of shit, trying to cause harm to the world and society. But, wicked young man. Great stuff. Alright, for the next one, Sanctuary. This is for the common man, the 9 to 5, wake up, eat breakfast, brush your teeth, drive to work, come back, eat dinner, watch TV, go to bed, repeat that for the next 30 years of your life. Because like that, I mean, he just sings about that. He's someday I'll get the perfect wife, have 2.3 perfect kids, and by the time I'm 40, I'll have a heart attack. But hey, man, as long as I got to my diploma, that's great stuff. But yeah, just terrific stuff. Working 9 to 5, sweating at my job, just the same fucking cycle over and over again. And then yeah, just the chorus, it's just, I just want to be my sanctuary, just like Quasimodo, let them put him away, this is where I will stay, in my sanctuary, just go away, be gone, this is where I am, this is my oasis, please get rid of this cycle, or just people that are, pissing me off or whatnot. But again, just heavy stuff, of course, throughout and whatnot. But it's just kind of fun listening to it. It's like, yeah, this is something that a lot of people complain about. It's like, oh shit, I live in a world of repetition. I wake up, I go to work, I go to bed. I wake up, I go to work, I go to bed. And to make a song about it, it's fun. I did like the line. I'll have 2.3 perfect kids. Because like the natural average or something like that. But yeah, like I said, everything's heavy, rolling. I just really love the chorus, just like how he's just so energetic, and especially throwing a line like there, like Quasimodo, being in his sanctuary and whatnot. But yeah, Sanctuary itself, it is a fun track. The next one is Blow Me a Kiss. This one, again, very, very heavy intro. Yeah, just very cold, and you get Alice with this sort of cold attitude towards him, saying about like, take one in the face, and then you get this distorted back talk where it's something like, think about your baby, or think about your soul, or think about your life, as Alice is singing through various other stuff. Take one in the face, take one in the thigh, take one in the arm, stuff like that. And then it just comes in, blow me a kiss, 'cause I'm black, blow me a kiss, 'cause I'm gay, blow me a kiss, 'cause I'm shaken, say good night, then blow me away. And then of course you just get that, alarming instrumental place. And then, Alice continues to sing about, blow me away, just repeating that. And, just throughout this entire song, it's just prejudice, because there's a part in the song where he's like, don't ask me why, you know it, like, don't ask me why you're doing this, like, why you gonna kill me, like, oh hey pal, you know why, because you're, insert race, or orientation, you're gay or whatnot. But yeah, just the whole part. I mean, that's the thing with this album, is that it is so strong in its themes, and not in terms of a convolute, like, okay, we're just going to throw 5 themes into one song. I'm not saying he does that, but just how one song is so specific to a certain theme, and the execution that happens in that theme of the song is pretty damn near perfection. So yeah, Blow Me a Kiss, Blow Me Away. And then there's a pretty great part which I like, which is he sings about how he's like, I'm in my room, I'm Doctor Doom, 'cause I'm not me, I'm someone else. Great, I love Marvel, but just having that metaphor, interpretation of being like Doctor Doom, I'm somebody else, which is like, I think it's the only song I've ever heard that references Doctor Doom. I know there was a rapper that dressed up and went by Doom. But in any case, yeah, Blow Me a Kiss, great stuff in terms of the chorus, just how he sings it, and just the theme overall and the atmosphere is some pretty damn good stuff. Alright, the next one is Eat Some More, and there's an interesting part in the intro, that the sort of song or beat that happens from time to time. It's something on this computer, like if you press a button, this sort of beep beep sound. I mean, that's all it reminds me of when I hear it. Well, whatever. But again, more of the industrial sound to it in the intro. And Eat Some More is, it's about how we just waste food. And even though we're throwing up, even though our stomachs explode, we still eat food, or we still go to the store. I'm trying to remember if I saw this in the comments section on this video. Not this video, but the video for this song, or somewhere else, which was pretty interesting. How this person interpreted it was, it was like, oh, here in America, people are dying of obesity, but in Africa, people are dying of starvation. I thought that was a pretty interesting message. You can easily tie that to it as well, but like the way Alice sings, he's just like completely pissed off on this song. He's yeah, he just sings about dump trucks full of moldy bread, or people are just buying, you got some nacho cheese, spread everywhere. Just a complete waste of food and consumption, overuse. Something we saw last year, right? Everybody thinking that store's going to be closed for the next 30 years, so they buy an entire stock shelf full of, food or toiletries or shit like that. But yeah, Eat Some More, just, again, it's, he even sings about, throw up some more, go back to the store, we're so hungry, so pathetic, and then you just got that guitar riff, great stuff. I always kind of imagine, like, oh man, it'd be kind of cool, be like on stage, got like some cement truck with like the rail, and then I don't know how, like some dummy, and it's just like food and shit going in it, because that's really what you picture on this. It's just, an overconsumption of everything, and even though that you don't need it, you still buy it. So yeah, just eat some more, just a complete pissed off attitude. I just enjoy it. But yeah, Eat Some More, I really do enjoy. Alright, the next one is Pick Up the Bones, which you heard a snippet of in the last video I did for Alice Cooper, the music similarities and themes. I'm going to talk about that video for a sec. It was kind of funny when I finished making the video. I'm like, okay, I think I got most of it, though I'm sure I'm missing one song. And I got a comment from Giles, and he's like, oh, missed out on It's the Little Things. I'm like, how the fuck did I forget that song? With obviously the quote of, welcome to my nightmare, no more Mr. Nice Guy. But obviously for Pick Up the Bones, you transition to Dragon Town. That's why I brought it up here. But yeah, that was a fun video to make. Okay, rough transition over. Pick Up the Bones, it's all about war, right? War and genocide. But just, to Pick Up the Bones, you enter this sort of long intro, and he is almost a defeated tone to him and his voice to where, he's singing about. I mean, you can just imagine this sort of city of destruction, of darkness, that the ground, nothing grows. In fact, I believe that's a line in this song, that this burnt sacred ground. And, he's just singing about, like, oh, hey, here's an ear of my brother, here's a hand of a friend, here's insert, ligament or bone. And he's like, I got them all, but I just can't put them back together again. And then he just comes in with that chorus, pick up the bones and set them on fire, follow the smoke, going higher and higher. Just great, great stuff. Just imagine some, so survivor of, some newly, conquered town or city, or after a war or whatnot, just going around and seeing family members and friends just blown to bits, and just trying to collect them, and hopefully trying to bring them back or whatnot. Just very, very emotional stuff. And he does sing about how there were demons with guns marching through this place, killing everything. They're an inhuman race. So just basically anything that walked, anything that breathed, these militant group or whatnot, just kill them in sight. Shoot first, ask questions later. But just pick up the bones. It's a pretty good part when the Brutally Live tour. It's got like this almost pillow sack, and then just picks out various bones. Overall, very powerful stuff. This is a hugely underrated Alice Cooper song. You might say the album itself. I don't know if I go that far. I think enough people know it. But Pick Up the Bones, terrific song, full of despair, depression, anger. Maybe even a bit of revenge in the attitude from time to time. But just overall, at the end of the day, Pick Up the Bones, very, very powerful stuff. Especially the chorus, where he's singing about just pick them up, burn it, follow the smoke. You can just truly, truly envision it all. Alright, the next one is Pessi-Mystic. You want to talk about 2020? Maybe a little bit of 2021 too, right? January 6th. But Pessi-Mystic, holy shit, I love that song. You get the intro. It's kind of this I don't know, almost like a trippy sound, almost this and then it comes in with this sort of guitar and bass parts, and Alice is very soft, where he's like, don't need no crystal ball for me to see clearly, or no astrology or tarot cards. Watching CNN and holding my breath, fucking trust me, because the daily news scares me to death. Well, which you hear a lot in the interviews. I'm going to say like post 2000, where like people will be interviewing him, like, oh hey, you think Shock Rock is dead? Can you shock an audience? And like he always gives the example, like, well, you could turn on the news and see somebody getting hung in real life, right? It's like, okay, I think Shock Rock is dead. Then he gives the joke about like, well, if I cut off my arm in real life, but you can only do it twice, right? But yeah, Pessi-Mystic, just pissed off about the news. Just this whole, because I've talked about it before, to where like news, they don't give a shit who you watch and like what your politics are, what like wing you are, insert party. Like at the end of the day, as long as you're watching, you're giving them revenue, right? So you see cat videos, genocide, negative stuff, because that's what brings an audience in. Again, there's another quote from him, to which it's like, you're driving in Los Angeles, on your left side's Disneyland, right side's a plane crash. You're going to look at that plane crash, right? That's just human nature. It's the whole shock of it all, right? But then he comes in with I'm pessimistic, I'm so nihilistic, I'm pessimistic, I don't believe a thing. And then at the same time, you got like the hammering instruments, and then he just comes in again with like pessimistic, so fatalistic, and then he's like, I can't hear a word you say, so shut up, shut up, shut up. He repeats those lines, And there's another part too there where he's singing it, but he changes it from "I'm pessimistic" to "I'm so pissed offistic." I thought that was pretty fun. And then just towards the end, we're just repeating the lines, "Shut up, shut up," and then you got I can't believe I. Excuse me, I can't remember if somebody else is in there too, but he just gets more and more hammered to the point he's just screaming it. I believe he does it like 10 times or something, but in any case, Pessi-Mystic, great stuff, great, metal, just real extreme punk stuff, especially like with the, shut up lines and stuff, but man, I enjoyed this. Alright, the next one is the song Gimme, Gimme, as in Gimme This, Gimme That, which you heard a snippet of in the intro. I actually found it kind of interesting when I found the music video. I'm like, oh hey, something? They don't play the line of, I really hate to repeat myself, but nothing's free. That's what I was going with in the last video, like with, oh, this was altered because it's just, nothing's free. And then he goes into the part. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But any case, Gimme, this is like Satan, the devil, from The Last Temptation. In fact, he, like I talked about before, he made a reference, callback, because there's a line in here to, well, I just said it, right? I really hate to repeat myself, but nothing's free. Yes, I'm on your side, sincerely. But, okay, I'm going to put a link to the video. That just reminded me real quick. Well, watch the music video to this. The ending is probably like one of the most perfect song endings of a music video you'll probably ever see. Just the twist at the end. I'm talking like M. Night Shyamalan twist almost, but good. Sixth Sense was good, but afterwards. But in any case, go check that out. But Gimme This, the song Gimme. He comes in and he's just saying, you can tell he's just this deal maker, because he just comes in and singing about, I know all your desires, your heart is so full of pain, trust me, I'm on your side, I'm your only friend, trust me sincerely, you just trust in me. But then he just comes in just painful and anger, singing about, like, oh, hey, don't you wish you had it all? Just kneel down and tell me what you need. Fame and money all for you. I can make your every dream come true. And then just the chorus part, right? With the gimme this, gimme that, gimme this, gimme that. Just pissed attitude. Because it's at the end of the day, he's just trying to deceive and swindle you so he can get you. Or just, whatever he wants from you, right? But just, great stuff. And then, of course, there's like the next chorus, next stanza part, where he's singing about, please don't ask me my name. It doesn't matter. You're here for me, for what I can offer. Because I'm not going to say Lucifer, But yeah, great stuff. And just at the end of the day, just total deception. And just trying to play this nice guy. There's obviously there's parts where you can just tell he's complete full of shit. Where he's, you trust me, I'm your only friend, sincerely. Like you got fingers crossed, like bullshit. But just the chorus part about, like the fame and money all for you. Don't you want this? Don't you want that? Just gotta kneel down, sign this damn contract. A drop of yours, a drop of mine, and your soul is mine, right? But Gimme, great stuff. Alright, the next track is It's the Little Things. Great stuff. I really do enjoy this theme. That's pretty much me right here on this song. Not saying that I'll kill somebody for talking the movies, but yeah, it's just something like major can happen. And, like, I wouldn't give a shit, but, like, if I'm writing on my notebook and then my pencil breaks, fuck, It's just the little things, right? Which is what this song is all about. Corny at times, yeah, I wouldn't lie, but it's all fun and games. Because, like, really, that's just kind of the theme of it all, right? To where he's singing about how he's like, oh, you can burn my house, steal my car, you can hang me or electrocute me, kill me, I can wrestle naked with a grizzly bear, but if you talk during the movies, I'll kill you right there. And then he comes in with the chorus, it's just the little things, it's just the little things. And then he sings about, he gets all high in his voice. He's talking about, oh, I'm walking on a tightrope. I'm on a short leash hanging by a thread. You push me off the ledge, you push me too far. Welcome to my nightmare, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And then it goes through this sort of instrumental piece too. And he goes through various other stuff too, about like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, insert this, insert that. But if you ask me how I got my name, then he comes in with the chorus, that part too. But just it's the little things that I enjoy as well. This is where the comedy works in my opinion. When it comes to Alice Cooper songs, because sometimes it's kind of like a little cringy there, Alice, but this one it really works. Wrestle with a grizzly bear, or if you ask me how I got my name, or ask me about the fucking chicken story again, stuff like that. So it's always kind of fun, just kind of poking at himself and just poking at it, people like interviews and just everybody that ticks you off with the little things and whatnot. But yeah, I enjoy this song. Alright, the next one's Taken Like a Woman. This is kind of interesting, to where, I don't mind it, but it's kind of like, okay, we're in track 10 of an 11-track album, and then, so now we're going to do a ballad, and it's not like a, baby ballad. It's a rockin' ballad, but I think it should have been a lot more heavier, because, the intro's just kind of like a slap in the face, like, whoa, okay, I guess we're going that route, I guess we're doing the ballad, right? But, Take It Like a Woman, it's like Only Woman Bleed, or the next one, what was it, Every Woman Has a Name, though I actually like that song better than this one. But yeah, you Take It Like a Woman, been beaten down, kicked around, spat at, you're being abused at home, abused in the workforce, but you took it like a woman. Again, it's a great theme. Again, it follows that fucked up world and whatnot. Just overall, I just wish that the approach to the song would have been a lot heavier, because the sequel, Welcome to My Nightmare, does it a lot better with When Hell Comes Home. So if it was something like that, where it's like a very dark, serious attitude, not saying that this song isn't, but just the instrumental weight and the vocal weight to it, just a lot more bogged down, a lot more heavier. I would have enjoyed that more than this sort of, rockin' type ballad to it. But at the end of the day, it's probably my least favorite song on here. Again, I'm not saying that in terms of the theme or anything, of course not, but just, I would have liked a better approach to it. But, like I said, Take It Like a Woman, go through a lot of physical and emotional abuse, but you just gotta put on your fake smile and, go through the rest of the day, right? So, message, good message, just wish it was approached a little bit differently. Alright, to finish this off is Cold Machines, which should, when I got thinking about It's the Little Things, I'm like, oh hey, something, this could have been added too, since the riff is from Marilyn Manson's Beautiful People, the it's kind of funny when I hear it, and then you play it on here, it's like, oh shit, it's Marilyn Manson, but that was like deliberate, right? Because like Alice talked about, it's like, oh, this is paying an homage to Marilyn Manson, but it's a pretty good theme still. I really do enjoy it. Just besides the riff, I think if you're just gonna shit on this song just because of the riff, well, I don't think that's really justified. I mean, I love You Look Good in Rags, even though they rip off of Atomic Blondie's song with the riff, right? It works, and this song it works too with Manson's. But in any case, it's Cold Machines. It's all about how you walk by people in the work office, or maybe you school, or just even like down a sidewalk, maybe a store, and it's just like tunnel vision, in which nobody's around you, even though like somebody, you might be by yourself, and then somebody comes up, And then, oftentimes now it's, oh, look at phone, look at ground, look away. Do anything you can besides, look at the person and say, good morning. Because that's really what it is. He opens up with, I see you at your station. Radiation burns my eyes. I don't want to be gone. You don't know my name. You don't know my number. You don't know I exist. We're like coal machines. We're marching on and on and on. And then he does a pretty good line too about I don't want to be gone. And then he comes in again with the same I don't want to be just a memory. Great stuff, just all around. It's like I don't know, a bunch of androids just walking, like Tesla's new humanoid android, right? But yeah, I really do enjoy the theme. Maybe not the best song to end on the album, but like I said, I think the next one does a good job with the Sentinel. But any case, Brutal Planet, there you go, 11 tracks. Number one for me. I mean, this was the one album where, I mean, obviously there are a few, but I was just like, holy shit, this is for me right here. But let me know what you guys think. Alice Cooper, Brutal Planet. Do you love it? Do you hate it? But I'll see you guys next week for Dragon Town. Alright guys, take care.